Another guy's giving off some body language, and he wanted to talk about him, so we're gonna go into it. I don't know what anybody's smoking here, but LeBron James ain't retiring. It ain't gonna happen. All right. Now he's talking about maybe he is gonna retire. It's time. No, no. First of all, he's very frustrated. Obviously, when you make it that far into the playoffs, you don't make it to the finals. LeBron is a guy that everybody thinks can just do it on his own. He tried very valiantly, and he came very close, but he can only do so much, and that's the way playoffs go. Even if you would have the best supporting cast, you just don't know what is going to happen with him going forward. Good question. What I'm seeing at this point is, I mean, the dream of as far as playing with Bronny, that's going to happen. Absolutely. So the question is he going to take time off, maybe take a year to rest, or come back mid-season? You know how some players used to do that back in the day, and then wait for Bronny, or he's just going to go rest for a little bit and say, yeah, I'm rejuvenated and everything else. There's talks about him going to the Knicks. He's going to play for the Lakers. He has all his interest in LA. He's going to shoot Space Jam 10 or whatever, maybe The Godfather 4, whatever can keep him occupied in the offseason until Bronny comes back. That's my prediction. Where do you see him going, Wayne?
Before I forget, I want to mention as you're watching the NBA Finals, when the games are in Denver, look for a really large human being standing on the sidelines in a suit and tie with a big beard and glasses. He's an usher there, and he's a friend of mine who owns a card store in Boulder named Michael Fruitman. You'll see him in the background at some of the games, right? So just shout out to Mike. I'm going to send him this and tell him how we're both pulling for the Nuggets. But you'll see him, and he looks like I mean, aside from the beard, he looks like a basketball player because he's that big, right? Um, I agree with you. I don't think there's any chance that LeBron doesn't play next year. I think if there's somewhere, I think that if you want to be cynical, and I will always be cynical with LeBron James because he's not an idiot, right? I think you could look at this as, is he going to walk away from the $45 million next year and the $50 million option the year after that? So for a guy who wants to own an NBA team, is he going to walk away from $100 million? Probably not. Is he frustrated? And has he been hurt for most of the season? Yes. Does he take a year off? I don't think so. Is it possible that he is trying to force the Lakers into saying, I'm thinking about retiring now, but I'll stick around for one more year. You need to go get Kyrie Irving. You need to go get somebody else, somebody of that ilk to put with me because I'm thinking I'm not going to play the year after that. Okay, so that's shrewd negotiation. I'm not a fan of that. And maybe it is why he did it. Maybe it isn't. The other possibility is you talk about the Knicks. I think it's a lot more likely that if he was trying to force a trade, he's trying to go to Golden State. He said he wants to play with Curry if he was going to play with somebody. He's really good friends with Draymond Green. That checks out to me. I don't think that's what's going on. I think you're right. I think it's mainly just plain old frustration. And I don't think there's any chance that he passes up the 45 million and then the 50 million, right? Unless in some way, somehow, they win the title next year. And then he has to think about it, even though he's got his son coming. Man, if you win the title at 39, do you really think, man, I'm going to come back for one more year to try to get this out? I think it's in his heart that he wants to do it, and I think he will. And I think there's maybe a 2% chance he's playing with the Golden State Warriors next year and a 0.5% chance he's with the Knicks and about a 98% chance he's with the Lakers. And he may sit out the first month or two because the regular season doesn't make any difference as long as you make the playoffs. We're seeing that, right?
Well, they could always get a phantom injury, right? Or
Oh,
low
100%, right?
or BS management or whatever he needs to do. But he's going to play with Bronny. It's gonna happen. He's going to wait it out. Only other thing I could see is Lakers. We need to tank, so we can draft Bronny high enough.
Right.
That's about it. Because the only hope of Lakers keeping him long term is drafting Bronny. Otherwise, wherever he's going, the Sun's gonna follow him.
Right.